The Carnival Luminosa, one of the most polarizing ships in the fleet. Some people trash it, other people absolutely love it, but what's the actual truth? We sailed it for 22 days to find out. No fluff, just rapid fire answers about what really works and what doesn't.
All right, now for the rankings. We're breaking down 5 key categories and giving each one a score from 1 to 10. 1 minute per topic, straight to the point. No sugarcoating, just our honest take. So, we'll see you on the Lido. All right, as you can see, we've made our way down to the Lido deck, but right behind us is the main pool. So let's kick that off. Joe, what did you think of the pool and hot tubs on the Luminosa?
Well, I think I'll rank the pools and hot tubs I'm going to give them like a 7, and they actually exceeded my expectations. What I read about and watched videos about before we got on the ship was that I was going to be disappointed there wasn't a lot of pools and hot tubs. I will say the hot tubs in the back of the ship in the Serenity area are like this big. They're really small. If you've got more than 2 people in there, you're touching toe to toe. You're getting a little bit of foot play in the hot tubs. But the hot tubs on the main Lido are huge. Probably get 8 people in there. We've had comfortably 4 people in there, 5 people in there a couple of times. So yeah, I think the hot tubs are great, and the pools are both really nice too. On our sailing, they haven't had them filled up enough. We just found out there was a leak, and that might be why. But overall, the pools are actually really great. They both have some depth to them, and yeah, they're refreshing on a hot day. So I can't complain.
Yeah, I agree. I think the pools are definitely past my expectations. There's only 2. There's the main pool behind us, and then the pool in the Serenity, which of course is adults only. It's nice that pool is adults only, but we were kind of hoping that we would have the pools to ourselves. That has not been the case on this sailing. Everybody seems to have brought their swimsuits. People are in the pool constantly. The Serenity pool, honestly, has been a little bit too crowded for us, so we've mostly done our swimming in the main pool here. But it hasn't been too bad. The cruise up until now, the pool has not been full, but this morning we woke up, checked out the view on the Stateroom TV, and noticed that the pool was completely filled up.
We think they fixed the leak.
Yeah, we think the leak is fixed. And you know, one more thing I will say about the hot tubs is on Serenity, not only are they small, like the diameter of the hot tub is pretty small, but they're very shallow as well. Like you only are submerged about up to like chest level. It doesn't even go up to your neck. You really have to sink down in order to get fully submerged in the hot tub. And, I prefer to leave a hot tub myself. All right, so our next topic is the buffet, which is also found on the Lido deck. So what did you think of the buffet here?
I think the buffet is pretty good. Honestly, it's been hit or miss, actually. We had one particular night where it was abysmal. That's the word that I used, and that's a strong word. Other nights, it's been pretty good. I've never had... we've been going to main dining mostly for dinner, and so for dinner, I'm gonna rank the buffet like a 4. Which I'm sorry to do that, but it wasn't that great. For lunch, I'm gonna put it up at a 7 or an 8. They have these little mini hamburgers. They're so good, and they have like every day they make them a little bit different. Sometimes they're like Texas barbecue burger. Sometimes they're like firecracker burger. Those are pretty good. They're in the family kids section. I've never seen it on another Carnival cruise. We've been on, I think, 9 Carnival cruise ships. Never seen this on any other ship, and I've really enjoyed that. So the buffet is definitely hit or miss for me, but my time is up, so what do you think?
Yeah, so I would agree. I think I'll give the buffet overall maybe like a 6. The lunch is, I think we've eaten lunch on this cruise in the buffet more often than on any other cruise. And we'll get to one reason why in just a second. But another reason is that the lunch buffet is actually pretty decent. They actually have Indian food every single day in the lunch buffet, which I have not experienced. I love Indian food, and the Indian cuisine has been, pretty spot on, I think. So I've been very happy with that. I also like that they have a lot of different sections of the buffet. Although I will say at both lunch and even more so at dinner, they run out of things pretty regularly. They run out of things, and then people just stand there in line, holding up the rest of the line, waiting for that item to get replenished. And it takes like sometimes over 10 minutes to get that item back in stock and get the line moving again. So that has been a huge frustration. So, all right, our next topic is Guy's Burgers and BlueIguana tacos. And the thing is, the ship doesn't have them, which is why we found ourselves at the lunch buffet more often than not. However, there is a burgers joint called Off the Grill and a tacos and burritos place, which serves something almost identical to what you get at BlueIguana. So honestly, I would rank those 2 spots, Off the Grill and the burgers and tacos, I think that's about an 8. You know, it's basically on par with what I've had on other Carnival ships with their Guys Burgers and BlueIguana, just labeled differently.
And I'm going to disagree with that a little bit. I'm going to give them less than an 8. I think I'm going to give them a 6. They are very, very similar to Guys Burgers and BlueIguana, except there's just less options. And the burger honestly wasn't as good. It's still a smash-style burger like at Guys, but I think it was the bun. The bun wasn't as good, and a bun makes a huge difference in hamburger.
Yeah.
So I was a little disappointed with the burgers. I think that's what most people end up saying in these reviews, and I just have to agree. I had to find out for myself, though, and the BlueIguana tacos and burritos place that isn't BlueIguana is good, but they have less options. They don't have the fish tacos. I don't think they just have less different proteins that you can put in the tacos. Although I'll say their breakfast burritos have been pretty good.
Okay, the next topic is the games and activities that you can find on and around the Lido deck. So, Joe, what did you think of those?
Well, I didn't take part in a lot of them, but I did watch some of them, especially the cornhole toss, which is you guys can probably see the court over here, maybe just the corner of it from the frame there. The intensity of the cornhole toss on this ship was exemplary. There was crowds of people cheering. This ship, we're going to Australia on this sailing, and there was an Australian man playing in one of the matches, and he had a whole crowd of people yelling, "Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Oi, oi, oi!" This call and response thing going on out there. I mean, it was like an actual sporting event. So the cornhole toss was intense. People are really getting into the dance routines. People are really having a good time. So I'm going to give it like an 8 or a 9.
Yeah. I would say, honestly, I'm going to downgrade it a little bit. I'll give it a 7 because this is one of the, I think, maybe the only ship in the Carnival fleet that doesn't have water slides. There is no ropes course. There is no ultimate playground. What you've got is a pretty subpar, pun intended, a pretty subpar mini golf course.
Yeah.
And a bunch of ping pong tables. There's plenty of ping pong tables. There's one billiards or pool table, and there's some foosball tables. And those activities are fine, but I really enjoy the ropes course and the more somewhat adventure activities, the roller coaster, the sky ride. So I did miss that, especially over 22 days. I would definitely have done those activities a few times. All right, next up we have the kids clubs. Now, Joe and I don't have kids of our own, but we have been observing the other kids on the ship and seeing how they enjoy the kids club's activities. So Joe, what do you think?
Well, this ship probably has somewhere around 20 or 30 kids on it. Not a ton of kids, but one thing that we've both observed on this cruise is that the kids actually are going to the kids clubs like O2 and Adventure Ocean. We walk past those, and there's actually activities going on in those clubs. So the kids are hanging out with each other, which is a good thing because on other Carnival cruises we've been on, the kids are never in those clubs. It's like they refuse to use them. But on this long sailing that we're on, it's great to see the kids kind of go into the areas that is designated for them. Carnival does a great job having these little clubs with video games, comfortable furniture, things that kids like. So it's good to see the kids taking advantage.
Yeah, I agree. I honestly, having not participated in them myself, I think I would give them about an 8 from our observations. They really seem to be keeping the kids engaged. I've seen kids going around the ship showing off their little art projects that they've made. And just the fact that they're actually in the clubs, I think that speaks highly for the program that they have here. So good job on the kids' club. All right, our final topic for the Lido deck is the fitness center and the spa. So we actually took a tour of the spa on the first day, and I think we were both impressed, but I'll let Joe give his rating first.
Yeah, I mean, my rating is I wish I could go. I'm gonna give it like a 10. I mean, I guess I don't know. It had like 5 different rooms with like an aromatherapy sauna, a regular sauna, these rock chairs, these hot rock chairs that you lay on. I've never seen anything quite like it. And then there's this really impressive giant hot tub that is bubbling huge bubbles. It just looks like an amazing place to sit. We want to get a day pass, but they were only doing 7-day passes, which were a little on the expensive side. So anyway, I'm gonna give it a 10, even though I've never been in there.
I agree, 10 on the spa for sure. That place looked amazing. The fitness center, I'm gonna say, was maybe like a 6. Honestly, it was okay. It definitely had its share of cardio, treadmills and stairmasters. It did have a weightlifting section and your usual strength building machines, but there wasn't a lot of extra space in there. They also had something that was called a relaxation room that I was kind of curious to find out what that was. It was separate from the spa, but it was under renovation, I guess, while we've been here, so we didn't get to really see that. So yeah, the 6 for the fitness center was okay, but not the best one I've been on. All right, so we're going to move on to the atmosphere of the ship, the overall ambiance, the vibe, how we really enjoyed using all the different areas of the ship. So to begin with, the ship decor. Joe, what did you think of that?
All right, ship decor is pretty good. I'm gonna give it a 6, just because it has a lot of strong competition on some of the other ships that I've been on. But it's pretty cool. There's a stunning statue that I can never remember the name of. But the reclining woman. And it's this, we're going to put it on the screen for you. There's no way really to describe it, but my first impression of it was that it was a genie. And that's just kind of like a genie with like a ponytail, a naked genie. But anyway, in that, to me, in my head, for some reason, that went along with the Luminosa theme. That statue in the atrium really just kind of fits with the name of the ship. Like I say, I'm only giving it like a 6 because other ships, other Carnival ships in particular, have had even more stunning decor.
Yeah, so this ship is actually a remodeled Costa ship. It was originally built for Costa Cruise Line. But here's the thing, that I don't know if Joe knows this, it was actually designed by Joe Farkas, who has designed many of the ships that we really love in the Carnival fleet. Of course, Costa is also owned by Carnival Corporation. Joe Farkas, does other ships outside of just Carnival Cruise Line specifically. So he did the Costa Luminosa, which has now become the Carnival Luminosa. And the Luminosa, I think that's supposed to be like luminous, like light-filled. Is what I got when I was kind of finding out about the ship. And I think that you can actually, now that I know that he designed it, you can see his touch, because he's really great about having like different types of designs in different parts of the ship that all kind of unify the ship, even though they're different areas. So I really do enjoy that. So,
I've also noticed, and I didn't know it was a Joe Farkas, although I would have guessed that just by the style, but I think on all the Joe Farkas ships we've been on, the panoramic elevators that are in the atrium all go up, and there's a huge mural as you go up, and all these hand-blown glass lights. Absolutely stunning and breathtaking. So yeah, it's really cool.
So what about the ship layout? How easy is it to get from one area to the next?
Actually, this ship, more so than a lot of ships I've been on, has a lot more twists and turns in it. And you have to sometimes be on a certain elevator to get to a certain place, at least easily. Some of the nightclubs and areas are a little bit tricky to access. There's a couple of different entrances sometimes. I actually like that once I get used to it, but in the beginning, it was a little bit confusing which is fun, but also can be frustrating if you just want to get from point A to point B sometimes.
Yeah, I would say the ease of navigating, I give it maybe a 7. This is a Spirit class, it's kind of like a modified Spirit class ship, and we've actually been on both the Legend and the Pride, which are straight up Spirit class, so I kind of already knew a bit about the layout, like where to expect Serenity. Obviously the buffet is always on the Lido deck, but I where the main theater is at the front of the ship, so I kind of had a general idea, but I agree that there are some areas, like on deck 2, I think, you can only go from one end to the other on the starboard side, I believe. So yeah, over 22 days we've eventually worked everything out, but it is a little bit of a challenge at first. Something I enjoy, but yeah. Okay, Joe, what about the availability and variety of furniture, like chairs and tables, that you can find all around the ship?
Yeah, like most cruise ships in general I've been on, the furniture is very stylish. A lot of cool shapes to the furniture. It looks like it's going to be amazing to sit in. A lot of times, though, it's not. A lot of times it's kind of stiff and not that comfortable. Looks better than it sits, so to speak. So, yeah, I mean, I'm going to give it maybe like a 6 or a 7 for the furniture. I haven't found any, like, really comfortable places. There's it's not like it's bad to sit down in these places, but sometimes you find that perfect couch that you just want to go read a book on or something like that, and I haven't found that on this ship.
And I would say also a 6, I think, and for me, it's more about the availability. I've never had this problem on other ships. Maybe it's just because we're out and about more and we haven't been spending as much time in our cabin. I don't know what it is, but a lot of times we go and we want to find somewhere to sit in a particular area, and apparently the entire ship wants to sit there as well, and there's just no more seating to be found. Honestly, haven't had that problem on other ships, really. And, okay, the final topic in our ship atmosphere category is the elevators. This is one of my favorite categories to review. Yeah, it can be good or bad. It goes up and down like an elevator. In this case, it went way up. I was very happy with the elevators on this cruise ship. First of all, they are the dumb elevators, which are the smarter elevators to put on your cruise ship. Because the dumb elevators work like everybody expects you. You push the button for up or down, you go in, and then you choose your floor. And it works great. These smart elevators where you've got to decide everything before you get in the elevator, they're horrible. They're just horrible. So these elevators, they weren't huge, but there were, I believe it was 16 elevators. Yeah, 16 elevators on the entire ship, 3 different banks of elevators. And they fit comfortably 4 people, although I've been on elevators with 6 or 7 people on them, and it's been crowded, but not too bad. And they're quick. That's the great thing, is we hardly ever have to wait. They normally just push the button, and within 2 minutes they're there, ready to take you wherever you want to go. Usually a private elevator ride, so I like the elevators.
Yeah, the newer ships have those smart elevators, and they just make it so you have to wait longer. This ship, the elevators have been spot on. I'm going to give them a 9. What did you give them?
I gave them a 10.
You gave them a 10?
I was super happy.
I'm going to give them a 9. They're really fast, they're really good. No complaints.
Okay, we're moving on to our next category, entertainment. So we're going to start with the daytime entertainment. So the lectures, the dance classes, the art activities, the trivia, all those types of things. Joe, what did you think about those?
Pretty good. We didn't take advantage of a lot of them because we are busy making videos for you guys, but we did kind of pop in on some lectures. Yesterday we popped in on a seminar about famous photography. And there were some people just showing stills of these very, very amazing photographs that have been taken throughout history, and explaining who took them, the circumstances around it. That was an interesting lecture. There has been lectures about the ocean life around us, all kinds of good information out there. And so, yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7.
Yeah, I agree. We've actually seen a lot of dance classes and art classes that are being hosted in the Ocean Plaza, which is one of the venues here. We'll show it to you on the screen. And every time we pass by that, when there's an activity going on, people are really getting into it. The person giving the activity, the person hosting it, is super energetic and also really in tune with the audience of who's participating, and theming it for their fitness level, I guess you could say. Encouraging people to take water breaks during the dance classes. Just really positive experiences. So yeah, I would say the activities are above a 7 as well. What about the evening entertainment, the theater shows, and then also just the music, the musicians that we can find around the ship?
I will give that a 6 or a 7. This is a very long cruise that we're on, so I guess I shouldn't have too high of expectations. The ship's musicians are good. They're not great, in my opinion, and I don't mean that to sound harsh, but I'm a musician, so I get to be a little judgmental, I guess. But we've enjoyed some of the music. We've sat down, had some drinks, listened to some music on a couple of occasions, and enjoyed ourselves. So, they're getting the job done. But the shows have been, once again, good, not great. What I will say is, on a lot of Carnival cruises I've been on, all of the shows end up being just like song and dance. There's no theater. Maybe there's a game show or two mixed in there, but on this cruise, we've had a mentalist, we had a juggler, we've had the song and dance, we've had the game shows, so there's a lot of variety, and it's not like, I'm not going to write home about it, as they say, but it's been good, the ones we've went to, not great. There you go.
I agree. I think, what did you give them, a 6? I think
6 or 7.
6 or 7, yeah. I think I would agree. And honestly, all the same things Joe say, I 100% agree with that. I will add one thing, a 10 for the piano player in the main dining room.
Gosh.
So she is awesome. We absolutely love having her. We're actually seated very close to the piano player. It's like we get a front row view. We're not positive, but we think she might be able to overhear some of our conversations because we'll do song requests just in a conversation between me and Joe, and then a little while later, all of a sudden she's playing that song for us. So she's really great. The arrangements she does are fun. The selection of tunes that she does are really fun. So,
just to clarify that, we're not doing song requests. We're just talking about the songs she's playing and then trying to guess them and then talking about songs we'd like to hear. And miraculously, she starts playing the songs that we'd like to hear.
Yeah.
So it's been really
It's not like we're specifically asking her. It just happens somehow. On to our next section, which is food and drink. So what did you think overall of the main dining?
Main dining, we have gone to most nights of this cruise, and I will give it a 7. There have been a couple of snafus with the wait staff getting a little bit too much into our business, and I actually had to say something on one occasion, which I feel bad about, but fortunately, right after I said something, it completely stopped and everything was fine. There's maybe a little bit of discomfort between us and some of the staff, but you have to set boundaries, right? So anyway, beyond that, it's been pretty good. The food, has been really tasty. Maybe 1 or 2 nights it wasn't too impressive. It was a little bit bland. But overall, I'm going to say the food was really good, which I generally do on a Carnival cruise. This cruise ship has a great main dining chef. The lobster bisque is super good. I don't know. There's been a lot of meals that have been delicious. There's a lamb curry we had the other night that was really stood out for me. It was absolutely delicious. Lots of good food, good desserts, and once again, I just want to reiterate, we've been on 9 Carnival cruise ships now, and never once has there been a live piano player. The piano player in main dining is just a really perfect dinner music player. I really enjoy like jazz and dinner music, so it has been a wonderful addition. And so Carnival, if you're listening, put live piano players in the main dining room. It really adds to the atmosphere, the ambiance of main dining. It has truly enhanced our experience at main dining and made it exceptional. I'm gonna shoot it. What did I say? Like a 7? I'm gonna give it an 8 because of the piano player.
All right, that's fair. I'm going to keep mine at a 7. The food was pretty good, and I also like that since we're on a longer cruise, we are getting a bigger variety of menus, seeing some things that we haven't seen or that we don't get to have that frequently. Chili rellenos was on the menu, and it's on the menu again today, so we're pretty excited about that actually. Yeah. But overall, the food has been pretty good. I'm just going to speak about one specific thing on the food menu, which is the desserts. That's something I really enjoy, and I'm just haven't been absolutely loving the desserts. They've been okay, but there's not been one that I really was like, oh, I wish I could have this one again. I do like getting to try all the different desserts that they have, but yeah, it's just not. It hasn't been my favorite selection of desserts. So yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Next, we're going to talk about the bars that you can find around the ship and the drinks that they serve. So Joe actually had a drink package on this cruise, so he's been able to order more. I haven't ordered pretty much anything from the bars because I didn't want to pay for it. So I'm going to let Joe review this.
Okay, so the bars have been good. Generally speaking, the service has been really fast. The bartenders are very friendly, for sure. Always wanting to make small talk and just kind of chat it up with you a little bit when you get your drink. Nice people. So, and the selection is your general Carnival selection. They have moved from Pepsi to Coke now. And so I prefer Coke products. I think a lot of people do actually. So that's kind of a positive. But yeah, overall, the bar service has been good. Mostly, I've been going to the Atrium bar, to the Serenity bar, and to the Red Frog Rum bar, which is right behind us here. Maybe you can see that back there. And yeah, like I say, everybody always is having a good time up at the bar, hanging out, talking, getting their drinks, and yeah. So I have nothing but good things to say about the bar service on the Luminosa.
Well, we already talked about the buffet in the Lido section of our review here, so that just leaves specialty dining. And on the Carnival Luminosa, there's really only 2 options. There is the Farenheit Steakhouse, the Farenheit 555 Steakhouse, and that is up on deck 10 above the Lido, above the buffet. And then there is the Bonsai Sushi Express, which is oddly found in the casino. So I'm going to talk about Bonsai Express first, and I'm going to give it, I don't know, I think a 4 out of 10. Yeah. We have had Bonsai Sushi on a few ships. Not every ship we've been on, but after we discovered it the first time, we just really liked it. And so we were glad to find that there was at least some Bonsai Sushi here. It's an express, so it's a more limited menu, and I just didn't really feel it was as good.
Yeah, the Bonsai Sushi Express experience was disappointing. I will definitely give it more of like a 6 or a 7. The sushi was good, it just wasn't great. And on other Carnival ships we've been on, the sushi has been great. And what disappoints me the most about the Bonsai Sushi Express is that at the regular Bonsai Sushi places, they have a noodle salad you can get. It's like $3, and it is the best. Next time you're on a Carnival cruise that has Bonsai Sushi, get the noodle salad. The Luminosa, though, has the express version, which is just a little nook, part of the bar in the casino, which is, like you said, it's kind of smoky in there. So that kind of takes away from it. And the sushi just wasn't kind of up to par. It was good, it just wasn't great once again. So, a little thumbs down on the Bonsai Sushi Express.
I think we were expecting that we would eat there several times. I mean, we're on this ship for 22 days.
If they had the noodle salad, I would have been eating it every day.
Yeah, we've only been there once, and I mean, I haven't really felt like I wanted to go back. Yeah. So, as far as the Steakhouse goes, we have not eaten there for 2 reasons. First of all, it's $52 for each person, which is a little expensive when you're looking at already getting decent food in the main dining room. And you know, you can get steak in the main dining room, you can get a lot of stuff in the main dining room. And it just didn't seem necessary for us to spend, upwards of $120 after you consider the gratuity and maybe getting some drinks. Just didn't seem necessary. The other reason, though, is that the Steakhouse has been booked for the less expensive events that they have there. So they have a special brunch, they have a long lunch that I've never seen offered before, and both of those are only $28 per person. I honestly thought, hey, let's give that a try. I went on my app to book it, and there was 3 different options, 3 different days that they were doing that for the long lunch. Every single one of them, including like the second to last day, which was very far out when I was looking, it's completely booked up.
Just when we think we're expert cruisers and we have it all figured out, we didn't get in on the discount steak dinner. Yeah. That's okay though.
Yeah, so if you are interested in doing one of those discounted, brunch or lunch meals at the Steakhouse, definitely make that reservation as soon as you get on the ship, or even beforehand if you're able. I know you're able to do that in the app, so if it's something you want, make that reservation, because they did book up on a 22-day cruise. So, all right, for the final category of our review of the Carnival Luminosa, what about our room?
Yeah, the room has been pretty good. It was something that I was watching room reviews before I got on the ship, like I always do, because I kind of wanted to see what I was getting into. And, it looks like a typical Carnival balcony, except it's a little smaller. It's a little bit smaller, I think. Did we verify that?
I don't honestly know. It's maybe a little bit. It's the same width. It's definitely the same width.
But the shelving is a little bit different. But I will say, I feel really at home in that cabin. Mm-hmm. Cruise ship cabins just kind of have a vibe, I don't know, you get into it and you either kind of feel comfortable or you don't. I remember a particular MSD cruise where we were on a very new ship, and the room just never felt like home. It felt very office-like. I don't know, it wasn't homey. This Carnival cabin actually is really homey to me. I'm comfortable in there. I love having the couch option. The bed actually exceeds my expectations. At first I thought it was going to be a little bit hard, but been sleeping good in there. So the balcony has been really, really nice. We've spent a lot of time on our balcony. I love the Carnival shower. I know some of you guys hate the shower curtain. I actually don't mind it. It means that you can get around a little bit more in the shower. So yeah, the whole experience of the room's been good. And the one thing that I know we both agree on that is something that stands out from any other Carnival room we've been in is that it has, I'm running out of time here, is that it has a curtain and then a veil curtain behind it. So you can let the sun in without it like baking your room. And then you also have the blackout curtain at night. I'll transfer it over to you.
Yeah, Joe totally just stole all my talking points. But I would definitely give the room an 8.5, maybe even a 9. I think this is possibly like overall rating my favorite Carnival room. Actually, maybe even favorite cruise ship room I've been in. Just like overall rating. I honestly, the bed was not my favorite. It was okay. It wasn't my favorite. And we had an extended balcony on a different cruise ship once, and that was definitely
amazing.
Awesome. But overall, like you said, it really feels homey. I love the way that they've laid out the storage, and I was a bit skeptical when we were watching the other room tours. You know, before we boarded the ship, it looked like the room was actually going to be even smaller. They didn't have shelves around the vanity, but check out our room tour because I really go into a lot of detail about it, and it honestly it worked out great. I love the way they have the storage set up, and it was definitely home sweet home for 22 days.
And just if I can plug really quick, we also did a video all about the accessories that we brought to make our room feel more homey, and I think it really worked.
Yeah.
Check out that video. It's going to have all the products that we use to enhance our room on this cruise. I'll tell you what, we've had a great room experience, so I think it has something to do with those products.
Yeah.
Make sure you check it out.
Absolutely. Okay, so to wrap this whole thing up, overall, considering everything good and everything bad that we've experienced on the Carnival Luminosa, how would you rate this cruise?
I'm going to give this cruise an 8. This has been an awesome cruise. Maybe even a 9, somewhere between 8 and 9. I have such a hard time landing on a number. I always like to be somewhere in between. I mean, 10 would be perfect, right? And I guess it's not perfect, but 8 or a 9, I'm really not that excited to get off the ship. I'm excited to stay on the ship, you know? So the Carnival Luminosa is a thumbs up in my book. What do you think?
Yeah, I think an 8 is a pretty good number. Definitely a thumbs up. I would totally stay on the ship for a little bit longer if we could. Which after 22 days, if we're saying that, I think that's a good sign.
Yeah.
There have been some things that I haven't been so thrilled about. There have been some not quite perfect moments, let's say. But overall, it really has been a good cruise. The staff have been really wonderful, and we've really loved being on the Carnival Luminosa.
Absolutely. Hey, if you guys get a chance to cruise on the Carnival Luminosa, make sure that you do. And always remember, no matter what destination you choose,
No matter what cruise ship you choose, adventure awaits.